During World War II. There was some hot boy shit. Welcome back to the DrewCast. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to episode 20 of the DrewCast. I'm your host, Mellow15. That song is amazing, bro. That's why you guys see a huge fucking smile on my face. When we were kids, Justin, that song was so nostalgic, bro. That shit's hella crazy, dude. And I'm probably coming across as someone who just fucking smoked. No. Okay. So tonight, guys, I got a little bit of stuff I want to talk about, and it's gonna, I don't know, I might piss people off. Justin, have you heard about, you know who Gina Carano is? Right? You know, like her past MMA and all that stuff. Did you know she was? I didn't know that, actually. Did you know she was on the Mandalorian though?
No.
Yeah. You're like, no, I know. It's like, wow. But yeah, so she recently, I don't want to say she got fired, but she basically, Disney and Lucasfilm let her go over some recent comments. I'm actually gonna read you what they felt like was the kicker, and then you're gonna tell me if you think this was worth her getting fired, canceled, whatever. And we'll put the picture up right here for you guys to see. So Gina, she posted this on her Instagram story. And so the caption says, Jews were beaten in the streets, not by Nazi soldiers, but by their neighbors, even by children. Because history is edited. Most people today don't realize that you get to the point where Nazi soldiers could easily round up thousands of Jews. The government first made their own neighbors hate them simply for being Jews. How is that any different from someone hating someone for their political view? So that's what it says. And so everybody on Twitter went into this huge uproar, and she ends up getting let go of the show. So after what I just obviously said to you, what are your thoughts on that? Do you think that's cancel worthy? But
probably not.
Here's the problem, right? So she wasn't comparing being a Republican
I feel like even
to
if
being
she was, I feel people in general, just the general public, if you compare anything to like Jews in the Holocaust, you just automatically, it's the same shit that happened with Nick Cannon.
Okay. Yeah. And right. You're right.
I don't think she was, but even if she was,
so
anything that has to do with Jews in the Holocaust, they're just like, yeah, we're not.
What are we gonna do though with the people who spent 4 years calling Trump Hitler? What about the 4 years people spent calling anything Republican Nazi Trump's Hitler? Right? Mm-hmm. Isn't that kind of like this? Isn't that the same thing? You're comparing Trump to Hitler for 4 years.
Who tried to commit genocide.
I mean, he basically did. Well, he didn't commit full, you know what I mean? He did, basically, right? Mm-hmm. And nobody that I've ever met has ever sympathized with Hitler. Have you ever met someone who sympathized with Hitler? Mm-hmm. I've never met anybody, right? No one says to themselves, like, oh, what he did was good, what he believed in was good. No one believes that. I guarantee you, if you ask Gina Carano, she feels the same way. Gina's not sitting here saying, right? So the same people who spent 4 years on Twitter, Trump's Hitler, Trump's this, you guys are Nazis, literal, you know how they would say like literal, you know what I mean? Like you'd see corny shit like that all the time, right? So
that's what I'm saying though. It's like they could say that, but I feel like the second you bring up anything related to Jews and Holocaust,
it's automatically you're anti-Semitic, you're automatically ostracized by people. You can't. So Twitter made this huge uproar. They've been doing it to Gina. Anytime she would tweet something, she would like, she tweeted a puzzle at one time, and I could put it up here on the screen too. The puzzle, it wasn't really that good of a puzzle because it ended up saying Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself, right? And people were mad about that too, like, oh, you're posting conspiracy theories and right. So, anyways, long story short, she gets let go of the show. But that day, bro, Twitter went ham on her. Twitter went fucking ham, dude. So my problem, right, is that, first of all, I don't think what you said, Gina, was even worthy of you to lose your job. Okay? Now, is it her employer's right to fire her for something she said? Sure. But let's not forget, people, who her actual employer is. Are we going to forget? Disney. was her employer at the time, right? Disney. Are we gonna forget? This is why cancel culture, to me, Dustin, is so fucking stupid. Cancel culture, it kind of eats itself in a way, because like you have Disney Plus with the kids, and when you watch certain movies like Aladdin, right? You'll put on Aladdin, and they have that little stupid fucking disclaimer in the beginning of Aladdin.
I didn't notice that at first, but I just noticed that.
Right. So then Aladdin, it'll say like, "Oh, we this depiction is not, like, bro, what? I don't care. I literally don't care. Did you click on Aladdin to see that? You're probably 90% of the people who click on Aladdin.
What do you think they're referring to? Me personally, bro, I
guess
don't think that Aladdin...
Emily told me, the beginning song, Arabian Nights. I guess like Emily was telling me that people were mad because it makes Agrabah look like it's dirty and everybody hears thieves and dirty. I mean,
I guess.
I'm not saying that's true. I don't know what the fuck. Is Agrabah even real?
Let's look it up.
Please, because if you say that Agrabah is not real, you guys are mad over a fictional fucking Middle East city. I'm going to wait until Justin gives me that confirmation, guys, because that is, I don't click on Aladdin for a disclaimer. Agrabah's not real?
No.
Okay, so you're mad about a fake city? Okay, Justin, what are we supposed to do now? When it comes to depicting any culture now, what do we do now? Okay, let's say we make Aladdin 4, okay? Am I supposed to get only Middle East actors, Middle East directors, Middle East producers? What are we supposed to do now? Like, you can't depict anything bad of our culture now? Like, anything? So, like, if we were to do an American movie, am I only going to depict the good of America? Like, that's not how that works. That's not even the point. The point is that when I watch Aladdin, I don't give a fuck about that little disclaimer. Who's but her over Aladdin? Now, the reason I'm bringing this up to you, Disney is just, I don't think Disney should have got involved with cancel culture, man. The founder of this company, Walt Disney, wasn't he famously anti-Semitic himself? Right? They make jokes about that. He was famously racist himself. He was homophobic.
They just got in trouble for the whole Hong Kong stuff, too.
Yeah, remember?
Mm-hmm.
So you're telling me, then let's cancel the name Disney then. Why aren't we doing that? Let's literally, guys, no, I'm not even trying to troll right now. Let's literally make them change their name. You're not Disney, right? Isn't that what cancel culture is, Justin? Let's put pressure on them now. Let's put pressure on them. We're going to make them change their name. You're not Disney no more. Right? That'd be so funny if we could do that. Hey, your founder, Walt Disney, was anti-Semitic, which you just let go of Gina Carano for supposedly being. He's homophobic, racist, gotta go. Remember all the old cartoons we used to see in World War II?
That would be funny as fuck.
The Japanese people, I get it. It's the time period, right? Is it right? I'm not saying it's right. But we gonna put a depiction on that too? Anything from that, or just everything gets a depiction. Because you can find anything. You literally can find anything. What's the word, man? I'm forgetting it. You can find anything offensive, bro. So what? Now any Disney Plus show, any Disney Plus movie, got to have the disclaimer. And God said we should make Disney change their name now. We should make a campaign for that, because that's what cancel culture is now. Cancel culture, I'm not saying... this is so hard of a topic to talk about. I'm not saying people can say racist things. And your employer has the right, Justin, to let you go for saying stupid stuff. Your employer has that right, man. Right? But Disney, bro, right? Disney is the same Disney who took John Boyega off the international Star Wars posters because China doesn't like black people. Did you ever hear about that?
No.
Is that the Hong Kong thing you were talking about from earlier?
No.
Okay, so Star Wars, Lucasfilm, would take John Boyega off the fucking international poster, and I'll post it up here, right? Because the Chinese market I'm not saying every Chinese person hates black people, okay? Right? But the Chinese market that they're aiming to, that's why they took Finn off the poster. Or they would shrink Finn. Right? Is that not racist? Is that not racist?
It is.
It is. So the same people who do that are now turning around and saying, oh, like Kathleen Kennedy, and I'll post a picture of this tweet up today. Like literally, I think it was a couple days after they let Gina go, Kathleen Kennedy comes out and starts talking about women and unity. And we need more women voices. You're not going to have many women. So are the only women that are allowed to talk, are they the Democrat women? Are the only women allowed to have a voice from the left? I'm not understanding that. Are the only women you're allowing to speak are women who fit a certain narrative? Like, I don't get it. What does that tell little girls? What does that tell anybody? So isn't that kind of, you see, and I hope, Justin, you get what I'm coming at. Don't you kind of see Gina's point kind of making a full circle now? The story she put in IG, don't you kind of see it making a full circle now? Where they're going to get people to turn on their neighbors. They're going to get people, and I'm not saying that people who voted for Trump are victims. I'm not, I don't even know how to explain this. I'm not saying that they're victims and, right? But you can see it coming full circle now. It's like, oh, okay. You guys are literally letting people. The meme, not the meme. The thing she posted is basically saying that's how stuff like that starts. You get everybody to turn on a certain group of people. You get them to hate them. You talk shit about them. You despise them. And so when stuff starts happening to those group of people, you don't feel bad for them. Like you don't you don't even, you kind of dehumanize them. So now when bad stuff starts happening, you're like, yeah, they deserve it, bro. They deserve it, man. But where is that for the people who spent 4 years comparing Trump to Hitler? And I know people get like, well, I've heard and met Holocaust survivors who say Trump reminds them of. But I've also heard the other way around. I've also heard people who are Jewish and have Jewish descent say that what Gina Carano posted was true. That they did turn people against their neighbors. And they did like it was like a propaganda thing. So that, I don't know, bro. Cancel culture is so weird. And especially from Disney. I actually think it would be so funny to get people just to cancel that name. It's not Disney no more.
Who's the guy that remember that one comedian who he went basically viral over the fucking speech or monologue that he did at the Grammys or Golden
Was it
Globes?
Ricky Gervais?
Yeah, where he was basically I don't want to hear about Disney Plus and Apple and all these guys come up here and make speeches about, humanitarian stuff when they have Chinese sweatshops. Yeah,
it's like Disney and Amazon and all these big companies. Well, I'm not Amazon, but Disney and all these big companies, and especially Disney, because they've had a past of this. They come up on stage and try to Black Lives Matter and unity and inclusivity and we're trying to uplift women. Do you actually believe they care? They give a shit about that?
That's the whole point.
They don't care.
I don't want to hear fucking.
Especially Disney.
Apple, hey,
they're gonna come for me, bro. I'm telling you guys, if you guys love me and you love watching the show, they're gonna come for me for saying this, bro. And I'm not gonna shy away from this topic. Target. I went into Target today, Dustin, and guess what I saw in Target? Black History Month signs. Have you seen that in Target yet? They have this little section now where it's Black History Month, Black History Month. Not that that's bad, but Target's profiting off Black History Month now? Why is Target doing that? Right? Why is
They do
Target...
the same thing with Pride. Every brand will change their logo to a rainbow logo, and then the second June's over with.
Done. It's now they're making money off people's plights. They're making money off people's suffering, dude. When has Target ever cared about black people? When? They're just now doing it because it's cool to do it. Disney's doing the same thing. I'm not saying it's the individual people, right? Yes, black people deserve a voice. Black people deserve jobs in Hollywood. Black people deserve everything that I get. Everything that we get, right? Everybody should get the same level of playing field here. But it's kind of like a slap in my face. You're right. And Ricky Gervais said it. When those companies get on stage and they start doing that, oh, we are inclusive. And it's like, no, when have you ever been inclusive? When? It's embarrassing. It's highly embarrassing. You guys comment below if you don't agree with what Gina said, that's 100% okay. Right? That's 100. If you're someone who's Jewish, if you're someone who's not Jewish, if you're someone who doesn't agree or does agree with her, I think it's perfectly fine, and I think it's fine to have conversations like this. Like, I'm not going to shut someone out for disagreeing with me. Like, let's talk. And if at the end of that conversation we don't come to an understanding, right? At least I can walk away knowing I tried. Like, hey, we talked, we spoke like adults. We talked about what we didn't agree. We talked about what we agreed on, and then we moved on, right? Silencing people, that's a slippery slope. Now, like, the big tech thing that's been going on with like Twitter banning people and like Google banning people. And now it's like, where does the reason I don't agree with that is because where do we draw the line? Are we going to cancel Disney now? Let's cancel Disney. Where does the line start and where does the line end? Because if these people can control us and these people can control what's going on, who's to say they don't get to decide what's this and what's that? Because we already know what's this and what's that, but then now these people are deciding for us. Comment below, guys. So next topic is a doozy of one. I've been notorious on this podcast for talking about DC. I've been notorious for talking about DC movies. The DC trailer to the Justice League Zack Snyder cut came out. I thought it was amazing. What did you think? I thought it was fire, dude. I thought it was fire. I know a lot of people didn't. And they have every right to feel that way. I was one of those people. I was like, and it's not the actors. It's not the actual property. It's not the movie. With the Ray Fisher story, you hear stuff about Jeff Johns. You hear stuff about Joss Whedon. Have you been hearing the Joss Whedon stuff? Bro, people on the Justice League movie, and, he did Buffy. I don't know if you knew that, but he was like, he was behind the Buffy show. People on that show are coming out and saying stuff about him.
Oh, I heard that.
People are coming out and saying stuff about Walter Hamada and all these people. It's not, so my anger with DC and Warner Brothers has never actually been the property, and it's actually never been the actors, right? It's been the people that are behind the scenes that are in charge of these properties. These people don't know. This is just what it is. This isn't up for debate, bro. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. They're spending too much time trying to play catch up with Marvel. They're spending too much time trying to catch what the Avengers did. Listen, you are never going to do that. Not with the way you guys run your shit right now. That's never going to happen. You guys will never catch up to Marvel. Why? Because you guys have incompetent people that are directing and producing these movies. Everybody wants to be a chief. They're saying not all all these Indians, not enough chiefs. I don't know if that's correct to say, but whatever. You have all these people who say they just want, you know what I mean? It's like those people that everybody wants to be the boss, right? But at Marvel, have you heard anybody come out about Kevin Feige and say he harasses people and says racist things? Have you heard that? No. Have you ever heard anybody say that about anything at Marvel? Have you? That doesn't mean Marvel's better, right? But that just means like, hey, we know what we're doing. That's why Marvel is so successful right now, is because there's not 3 or 4 Kevin Feiges who sexually harass people or they get accused of racist things, right? Kevin Feige, this is what we're doing. This is how we're going to get there. This is what we're going to do to make the movie. And this is how we're going to be successful. There's already a game plan. Let's hit all those points, right? You don't have somebody reaching their hand in the pot every other second and saying, hey, Ezra Miller, let's see what your script says. Oh, hey, Ray Fisher, you see what I'm saying? So the trailer, I loved it. It's very bittersweet to me because I was one of the first few personalities that I can think of that really, really wanted to hold Warner Brothers accountable for what they did to Zack Snyder. When his daughter died, you guys didn't want to give him a grieving process? Like, does Zack Snyder not deserve a grieving process? Remember, they're just like, hey, we're just going to let you go. They take whatever he filmed and then Joss Whedon has to go and reshoot it. He did a lot of reshoots. I heard it was up to 90% of the movie was reshot. So Joss Whedon takes this man's work, does reshoot. This guy's daughter died. Bro, that'd be like, you know, like, let's say I had a daughter. My daughter dies, and you guys are like, hey, Andrew, you're not doing the show no more. We're going to put someone else is going to be Mellow 15. And then we don't have time for you to fucking, to move on. You don't get a mourning period here. You don't get a mourning period. So that's what, that it feels like this is a win, not only for Zack Snyder, but it's a win for us fans. Because us fans were basically the reason this movie's made. I know a lot of people think that this movie is just like maybe a couple scenes added in, but it doesn't seem like that. It's probably going to feel and seem like a completely different movie by a large margin based off the fact that they said they reshot 90% of Zack Snyder's movie. Another thing is when WB came out recently and said, we're not moving forward with Zack Snyder after this. What does that mean? Do you know what that means? What does that mean? I don't understand that. What if this becomes super popular?
I think that's what's going to happen. Is it's going to become so big that they're going to be like, oh, never mind.
Yeah, that's what's going to happen. And you guys look like fucking idiots for coming out and saying we're moving on from Zack Snyder. Why put that out? Why? You see what I'm saying? You know who doesn't run their company like that? Kevin Feige. Have you ever heard anybody at Marvel say, "Hey, no matter how good Endgame does, we're not moving forward with this universe. Oh, no matter how good Spider-Man 2 does, we're not moving forward with the universe." You know what Sony did? And thank the lucky stars for this, because Sony is not dumb now. And I'm hoping this doesn't change. But Sony, they weren't trying to have Tom Holland in like future MCU. Remember that? There was like the whole report. But they realized, okay, so if we don't have him in MCU movies going forward, people are going to hate us. People aren't going to like want to watch our Spider-Man movies because he's not in the MCU, and it's just going to fuck everything over again. So now they're still doing Sony Spider-Man stuff, but they're also incorporating, you see what I'm saying? That you couldn't have, I guess the rumors for the new Spider-Man movie, the multiverse, you know, like I heard, what's his name? Willem Dafoe is coming back as Norman Osborn. I heard Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire, those guys are coming back as their roles, right? So you couldn't do that without MCU. Like, how do you explain the multiverse? And like, you know, they're already doing it with WandaVision. Like, how do you explain that, right? So, yeah, you don't hear Marvel say, "Oh, what after Endgame, yeah, there's nothing." Why did they come out and say that? It's like, bro, do you guys? No one knows. It feels like that, man. It really and I'm not even gonna crap on the CGI. I've already crapped on the CGI enough. Maybe the excuse is they don't have a good CGI department like Disney does, but you guys are Warner Brothers. Get it together. Get a CGI department. That's not our fault. Is it our fault that you're not as big as Disney? No, that's not our fault. But yeah, going back to the actual trailer, Jared Leto was in it. Obviously he looks different. Look-wise, he kind of reminded me of Joaquin Phoenix Joker with the long hair, but that doesn't mean they're trying to copy Joaquin's Joker. It kind of looked like they messed with his lips a little bit. Didn't it kind of look like more chunky right here? Like kind of like a Heath Ledger type of Batman, so that was pretty cool. They showed Soups in the black suit, which, that's probably one of the money shots, so I wouldn't... They showed Darkseid. I mean...
They showed Darkseid a few times.
Yeah, so I mean, like, and Steppenwolf wasn't like the big bad, it seemed. You know, it didn't seem like Steppenwolf was like the big bad of this. So it looks good. I mean, I'm mainly, for me, the reason I'm going to support this movie is just for Zack Snyder, bro. Like, I don't know any of the personal behind the scenes stuff, so maybe I'm talking on my ass, but I'm from what I've gathered and from what I've heard, they did Zack Snyder so wrong. And we're not going to sit here and pretend that they did it. You know, since I've started this podcast, it seems like I'm a DC hater. I'm not. I'm not a fan of the people who run it. I love DC. I love the characters. Like, those characters have a potential to be way better than Marvel. Like, what they did with Endgame, these group of characters had always had the potential to do that or better. That's why I'm angry. Because the people behind the scenes don't know how to use these characters. They don't know what we want. Remember? Oh, hey, instead of making a solo Ben Affleck film, let's make Suicide Squad. Let's make Birds of Prey. Let's make, let's make Gotham City Sirens. And it's like, do any of you at fucking Warner Brothers even look at what Twitter and Reddit and what fans want? I just don't think so. I don't think so. If anything, my plight has always been with the people in charge. After Ray Fisher came out and exposed them, after numerous other people from different shows with Joss Whedon and all that, it's like, bro, enough's enough, dude. I hope this movie does good, and I hope DC's like, hey, we regret saying that stupid comment about not going forward with Zack Snyder's universe, because we're actually going to go forward with it. We got the Robert Pattinson Batman going on, and let's have this going on. Why not? Why not? We have the Joker, we have Robert Pattinson, and we have this universe. Why not? Why the fuck not, dude? You guys are already gonna bust a nut with fucking Flashpoint. And regardless, bro, I don't want to come off as a DC hater, but if I do come off as a DC hater, cool, bro. I'm not gonna defend myself anymore, dude. It is what it is. Comment below, guys. Were you excited about the Justice League trailer? And what are your thoughts on what's happening at DC and Warner Brothers? Oh, okay, we're kind of running out of time. So people asking me for interviews. I actually wanted to address this a little bit. So me and Justin, when we started this, we used to do music podcasts, meaning I'd interview people that lived around here that are rappers, people who are artists, people who, it's networking. And I actually really enjoyed that. I had a lot of fun. A lot of people ghosted me. A lot of people were weird to me and fucked me over, and I got over that. I still bring it up because it's still something that, like, as you go through with this journey, you're going to remember those things, right? Okay. But you guys wouldn't, and it's something that I can't sit on camera and act like this isn't a two-way street. So I don't think you guys would completely understand unless you were in my shoes, right? I'm not big, okay? I'm not nowhere near where I want me in this to be, and I get annoyed by messages and the amount of message requests I get. So imagine if, like, you were Adam22 or Vlad TV, right? Or some DJ Academics, people who actually have huge platforms. Imagine what their messages look like. Could you only imagine? Now, if I'm not big, like I just said, and my messages are like that, imagine what celebrities' messages are like. Now, it's not a bad thing. I'm blessed that people reach out to me. It's cool. I mean, at first it was cool. At first it was like, oh, this is really cool, But a lot of people don't actually like you, right? They don't actually like me. They're not actually trying to invest in me and what me and my brother have going on. It's just like can I use your platform? Can I be on your platform? That's all that this is, dude. It's all one big circle jerk. And I don't want to be a part of it now. I already have, like, people who know where I live, and that's not, you guys don't understand. That's not an easy or cool thing. When there's kids involved, there's people that aren't in this podcast that live here. People who have other lives outside of this. They live here too. Am I supposed to just have random people over every week? It's true. It's true. I'm supposed to have random people over every week. Jimmy this and Jimmy that and Jimmy Dean and fucking Little Mop and Little Spaceship and, like, what am I supposed to do? What do you do for my brand? Right? Because, again, I'm not big, so I gotta think business wise, right? I do. I'm not big. So I have to take time out of my week, my day. You get to know where I live for what? What do you, like, what? Right? It's frustrating. It is. It's super fucking frustrating, dude.
I always just looked at it as like a content perspective. Like, if I don't know you, I've never heard you, I've never met you, I know nothing about you, and you like, hey, let me get for an interview. What are we gonna talk? Like, I mean, I'm gonna forcefully conversate with you awkwardly on camera. It just makes for shitty content. If you're not interested in it, then the people who are watching are gonna know you're not interested. It just makes for trash content, dude.
I got a perfect example. When we did the Isaiah episode, right? Like, So he comes over. He didn't seem interested at all. And when the episode comes out, he doesn't share it, doesn't share the link. He barely liked any of the episodes, and me and him never really spoke about it. Is that weird? Yep. You're damn right it's weird. Did it kind of ruin me wanting to do stuff with different people? Yeah, it did. For a while, it did. But I got over that, you know? Maybe he was going through something, right? Like, for instance, this episode never got released, but when we did the Ducey episode, I reached out to him. I was like, hey, Ducey, you know, like, I know you. I've been friends with you before. You're hella funny, bro. Come on and do the podcast. He will tell you the same thing.
I know. That's what I'm saying. You reaching out, you genuinely being interested in it, just makes for good content.
Yeah.
Not the other way around, where like some complete fucking random stranger is like, "Hey, dude, let me get on."
And,
cool,
and
dude, what do you
sometimes
wanna talk
there's
about?
nothing wrong with a complete stranger messaging you, because I don't want to make it seem like I'm better
I'm
than
just saying it from
complete
a
strangers.
content
Yeah,
perspective.
from a
If
content.
if you're showing zero interest in it, like, what are we about to talk about, dude?
Yeah, what are we gonna talk about? Like, what, like, you don't actually like me, right? And the thing is, like, I've told people no before, and they continue to act hella weird to me afterwards. There's been people who have been on who act weird to me afterwards. I think, like I said, I don't count Rickey and Pierce as like music interviews, okay? But like, am I wrong? Is J King the only one that's been on twice?
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't mind having him on again. I actually like J King. Tay Zooted, I wouldn't mind having him on again. Jay Fitty, I wouldn't mind having him on again. Even Marquise. Like, there's something to talk about right there. But with every, it's what I'm saying. You can hear it in my voice. You know, you can see it on my face. You can see it. And my cat's meowing, but you can see it on my face. You'd have to be in my shoes, okay? Just point. You'd have to be in my shoes. You have to sit here, you know, like, I'm dragging my brother away from his home for a couple hours a night. My girlfriend and them don't have to be, they don't get to be in the room for a couple hours a night. Everybody has to be quiet. Like, there's just things that go into this. I don't think people understand. All the equipment that we buy, all the time we invest in ourselves. Like, it would be very simple if I didn't work a 9 to 5. If I didn't work a 9 to 5, maybe 2 shows a week, 3 shows a week, and maybe one of those slots could be filled with someone who's new. Because that's what Adam 22 does, right? But at the end of the day, Justin, I know these people don't fuck with me. No matter, even if I did give you an interview, you're gonna find a way to make it like the white boy and the crackers, and you know, like, it just that's what it is, bro. This is the game that we played the game. We know what the game is, Justin. We know what it is. We play it, and we play it. We've played this since high school. We have had someone who's been in our group before say that about us. Oh, he wasn't he trying to imply like, oh, the white boys took over, like trying to say like the white boys kicked me out the group and the white boys think they're better than me. Someone that we ran with since high school saying shit like that. Oh, the white boys think they can, you know what I mean? Like, what? That was somebody that we hold dear to our hearts talking like that. So imagine, you think that those randos aren't going to talk like that? This guy was someone who I considered a hella good friend of ours. And he was saying stuff like that, like, you know, trying to act like we, oh, remember when you changed the name of the YouTube channel and now it's a problem? Me and you were the only ones putting money into any of this. We're the only ones putting time and effort in it, but it's a problem because you changed the YouTube name. Remember that? You remember when that happened?
Mm-hmm.
And the white boys, like, oh, the white boys and the wolves and like the crackers. Someone that we fuck with heavy said that about us. What do you think those random ass people are going to say? What do you think those random ass people are going to do when the interview doesn't look friendly in their favor and they know where I live? My safety comes first, bro. My peace of mind comes first. If I want to interview you, I'll ask you. No offense. No offense, because not everybody can hear criticism either. Like when they ask us to review albums and songs. How do I do that? What if your song's ass? Do I tell you it's us? Or would I fucking get on camera and lie for you? And now my integrity goes out the window because I'm lying. My integrity goes right out the fucking window because I'm lying. Yeah, you know, guys, comment below. Like, if you don't agree with me, cool. We could talk about that too. We could talk about not agreeing with me. Because then what you could do is get your own podcast, and then you can make a response to me. And then we can go back and forth. But until then, bro, until people are able to do what I do every week and what you do every week, I don't care anymore. I don't care. You know? What? Oh, like, oh, hey, I have an opinion about something you do. Okay, cool. You start your own show and shut the fuck up. I don't mean to come off like that, but this is what we're like 2.5 years in now. How many weeks have we missed? Can you count on one hand? I bet you can. I bet you can count on one hand how many weeks we haven't done a podcast, right? It's on one hand. Who else can say that, Justin? Who else? Do you know?
Mm-mm.
No,
what?
what?
Top of my head, it's probably around
like 3. I would say 3 weeks in the last 2 years we've not done a podcast. It's been very like minimal, bro. I can't even cap and say it's over 5. I think it's about 3 or 4 we've missed. But yeah, comment below if you don't agree with me, cool, let's talk. But I'm gonna end tonight off with meme of the week. Meme of the week is did you pull up the meme real quick? Do you got it on your phone? I think I sent it to you. But this is hella funny. So there's these 2 stick figures, and this has been hella trending on Twitter. So the funny thing is, like it says, girl, I hate all men, girlfriend, and then boyfriend. Like, she has a boyfriend, but she hates all men. The next one was hella funny because it says, I hate white people, girlfriend, and then the boyfriend's white. Have you seen people who do that?
Kinda, yeah.
I've talked about this with Rickey a lot, but I don't know what's more cringy. Now, please bear with me. You know those white people that say like they just 24/7 cape for black people, right? Like 24/7, like, black girls are beautiful, black this, black that, which black girls are beautiful, but you know those white people like that almost have that white guilt thing that they have going on? Like, I'm ashamed to be white, and it's like, bro, you see a lot of that. And especially with the first meme where it says the girlfriend, she hates all men, but she has a boyfriend. What I don't know, dude. It's like, God, it's so cringy, bro. Like, I know someone in real life, and I won't say her name, right? But she's one of those people that was like constantly shitting on white people. I hate white people. I would never date a white person. I would fucking, you know what I mean? Like, they fucking, I don't like white men. Guess who she's married to right now? Can you take a guess? A bum. She's married to a white bum. So where did the whole I don't like white people go? Where did it go? You know, like this? It's right there. Because it wasn't real. It wasn't real. Justin, that's not, you know, I'm not faking that story, by the way. She literally would say, white people this, white people that, and then she's married to a bum. They walked down the aisle, and guess what was on both sides? Trash cans. And dollar store, general Dollar Tree chairs, probably. That, and the ring bearer was probably somebody with a needle. He probably shot up right before the ring ceremony. And you know how girls shit on us if we say, I hate all women. You can't say that as a guy, can you? Can you say you hate all women?
I mean, you can if
you can gay. If you have balls.
No, if I mean, like, if you're gay, you can.
Well, yeah, if you're gay, you say all women. Like, I kind of want to be gay now, but, you know, if you're a straight male, you can't get caught dead saying you hate all women. Because, oh no, you just committed one of the worst atrocities of all time. But then women can walk on like, I hate all men. And we're just supposed to be like this. Yay. We're just supposed to laugh like shit's funny. That meme is kind of funny, though. That meme is kind of funny. Especially the black, like, oh, I hate all white guys. And then like she's dating a white guy. Because I know a couple of you. I do. It's cringy. And it's also cringy when those same white people, like Rickey always tells me this, but a lot of the loudest voices you hear about Black Lives Matter and a lot of the loudest voices you hear about like injustices, do you know what they look like? What are they, son?
Bunch of Karens.
Yeah, they're the blue-haired white people who wear the masks that say "can't breathe." You can't breathe, Karen? You can't breathe? You can't? Because
I get like the solidarity thing, but yeah, it does come off hella cringy.
it does come off cringy. Because like they're willing to drop their own identity. Like it gets to a certain point where it's like, hey, I'm willing to go to, like I told Rickey this because we talked about it, but I said, hey, I'm willing to go to bat for you, right? But at the same time, I'm not gonna drop my identity and my skin color, right? I'm willing to like fight racist people with you. I'm willing to stick up for you. I'm willing to go to bat for you. I'm willing to do anything for you when it comes to that kind of stuff, right? But what I'm not willing to do is like make it some white guilt thing where it's like, oh, like, please forgive me, Lord, for being white. Please. I'm not willing to do that, bro. And a lot of white people are. A lot of white people are willing to do that. You don't want those type of white people in your corner. You're willing to give up your own identity? What? That I can get you to do anything. I can get you to do anything. I literally can get you to do anything if you're willing to drop your identity to help me. That's not what people are asking for. They're not saying that. They're asking for solidarity and like, hey, come on, we could do this together type shit. But they're not asking for you to like, to sound cool in front of like, you walk in front of a group of black guys. It's like, I hate white guys. I'll never date a white guy. And it's those same people, Dustin, that say it's racist to have a sexual preference. They say that now?
That's yeah.
Yeah, they say that. They say it's racist to have a sexual preference, and whether you agree with that or not, cool.
I just had this conversation too. It's for another time.
Yeah, another time. But whether you agree with that or not, cool. But it's those same people who say having a sexual preference is racist, and then they turn around and say, I don't fuck white guys. I don't fuck with white people. Do you see what you did there? When you said having a sexual preference is racist, but then you turn around and say, I don't fuck with crackers. I don't fuck with white guys. When white girls say that, like, I don't want to fuck with white guys, but having a sexual preference is racist. It's like, you not see what's going on here? Because I see what's going on here. But yeah, the meme was supposed to be funny. It was actually supposed to be funny, but like, I know people aren't going to take it that way. So, but yeah, comment below, guys, if you know anybody like who I know who married a white bum. She fucking hella married a bum. Yeah, okay, so to end tonight's show, guys, thank you for your continued support. Thank you for all the Spotify and Apple Podcast numbers. They're doing amazing. And yeah, until next time, peace out.